Hello everyone, welcome back to the Old Emo Dave channel. I'm here with 11's MTG and we are watching Paper Standard live at Firestone Games during our most recent Standard Store Championships. Decks today are Rakdos Aggro and Rabbit Convoke. Rabbit Convoke? Rabbit Convoke? Multiple rabbits in this deck, Scott?
Yeah, lots of rabbits. So I spoke to Jen about what to call this deck, and we couldn't decide between Wind in the Willows, Woodland Creature, Tribal, Rabbit Convoke. For the sake of the stream, we put down Rabbit Convoke, but we weren't sure.
Well, the players are straight into it. Darryl playing a Cacophony Scap on turn 1 and getting straight in there into the blocker. Buffing it up with the monstrous raise for it to then hopefully die. This is currently, I don't really want to call this the meta tyrant, but necessarily the meta aggro deck at the moment. Cacophony Scamp, Hellfire Hero, doing attacks on death, doing damage to face, and then Kala Sellsword, the little 2-mana creature with the 1-mana adventure from Wells of Eldraine, coming in and doing the classic fling effect to finish the games off. Strong deck. So I think that's the only thing we can kind of say. Strong. The Gruul lean in, the Gruul lean in, the Rakdos lean in decks are very, very powerful right now in the current standard.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about the fairly newly spoiled leyline from Duskborn for this deck as well, which is probably coming from people that aren't 100% sure how to build decks or understand what gameplay kind of typically looks like. But we'll see.
Underselling, really, but we're talking like aggro here and like this being a really powerful aggro deck. Jen is also playing a very powerful aggro deck in Rabbit Convoke, and is something that gets incredibly out of hand thanks to some of the Bloomburrow cards when it comes to making these little rabbit tokens. What's like the big threat, Scott?
So there's Warren War Leaders at the top end. There's a couple of Knight Errant Avios, which is where the Convoke part of the deck comes from, but a lot of it centers around Valley Mightcaller. It's a champion of the parish with trample for the deck, which is frankly obscene and is not okay, and is unbelievable if it's played on turn 1.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the real like key card of this deck is Valley Mightcaller on 1, even though it's a frog, is the best honorary rabbit you've ever seen. Another Monstrous Rage is not really the kind of use for that card. When the card's already got a monster roll, you don't love Monstrous Raging it again just for damage.
No.
But if you have to do it, you have to do it. Okay, and the Cacophony Scamp dealing with the Quest Caller.
It's a real sign that you don't really have much. If honest, if that's the way it's come out, and 2 Kala Sellswords, which on base power and toughness means that we've basically got a 3/3 and a 2/2 here.
It's not bad. It's not good.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But this is a position that just a couple of creatures, like that was empty-handed, right? So like Jen, if they hit their land drop here, can go 4 creature ride on turn with 4 mana very, very easily. Also like make them 2/2s and 3/3s. So the gas is certainly out of the tank from the aggro side of things here.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. So Paul Patra Crew into Beauregard Mental. So that is just a 2/1 and a 2/2.
Yeah, they're not very big answers, are they?
A good draw here from Darryl could swing this.
Yeah, I don't think Jen can block either. I think Jen needs these base creatures to pump things up. And yeah, it was just a Cacophony Scamp. I say just a Cacophony Scamp. That's a scary card later on.
Yeah, if Jen has no follow-up here, it could get pretty rough. But we'll wait and see. 3 mana, this is probably hop to it. Yeah, so 3/1
hop to
rabbits.
And that means the middle card there is like what, like a 5/5 now. So
certainly is with trample.
So a strong blocker.
Everything in this deck has hidden trample as well. So between the Beauregard Mentor and the Might Caller, they both have trample. So all of a sudden, you're sitting there and you're thinking you're fine. You've got a blocker. All of a sudden, you've got a 7/7 trample coming at you out of nowhere.
How do people hide trample, Scott? Like, when you've got that, do you go like, it's trample? Is that like how you hide it, like hidden trample, or like you go like, surprise, it's trample?
No, it's just that every card printed nowadays has a novel of text on it, so one keyword is quite easily missed.
Absolutely, like flying on arena. That although they fixed that recently, that used to be the one that got a lot of people out. Good follow up, Ember Heart Challenger, because you just go with the team, right? Like there's that's not a position where just trading is going to do damage, and is also going to keep him ahead in the race.
Yeah, and trading is not great for Jen because it will shrink down the Beauregard Mentor as well. So
yeah,
what could you even block here? You could go
a Challenger. Maybe the Challenger's the 2/2.
You could double block the Challenger, put the Paw Patch Recruit in front of the Sellsword, and then trade a 1/1 for the Cacophony Scamp, and then lose your Beauregard Mentor, and then they have a 3/3 still.
Yeah, I think you have to though. I think like you can't let this damage through because you're not necessarily going to have the creatures to stop it next turn, and it's just a combat trick away, really.
We've gone for the halfway house of trade with the Ember Heart Challenger and chump the Callous Sellsword. So Beauregard Mentor back to being a 2/2. Just hoping for something off the top that can kind of get us there, but it's Daryl not drawing a land at any point and just having spell after spell after threat after threat is pretty good. So yeah, just making a might to make the Beauregard Mentor bigger.
Yeah, and attacking with it.
Attacking with it's a little aggressive. Maybe missed or forgotten that the might can't block. Something like that, maybe. Possibly. But it may also just be an admission of I need to get this game over with. Yeah, you can block the Sellsword. You're taking 4.
And go to 1.
You're dead to anything.
Yeah.
But it might just be an admission that Jen is aware that she needs to peel something really, really good here and kill Daryl now because basically any spell kills her. Yeah, another land is not what we wanted to see.
I think Jen just had 2 lands last turn as well, which wasn't great for it.
Yeah.
You're dead anyway here.
You need to just hope your opponent makes a mistake or misses something or is scared of your Beauregard Mentor on the crackback, that sort of thing, and maybe holds a creature back. I think Daryl just pointing out the Cacophony Scamp there of you either block it and die or you don't block it and you die. So into game 2, it was closer than it potentially could have been at points.
Yeah, definitely play draw disparity, I think, with these decks. And Daryl run out of gas. Deck's not really built to even like recover the gas looking at the boards. There is the absolute format staple for Eurobasque's Forge in the sideboard. I guess that would be a consideration. Tectonic Hazard, how would we say the new end of festivities, I guess. Oh, thank you, Daryl, for showing us what you're doing.
I think I'd be looking at things like Witchstalker Frenzy, Lithomantic Barrage, just trying to have efficient removal to try and break through the high toughness cards that Jenny can play.
Yeah.
From Jenny's side of things, there's 4 Surge of Salvation in the sideboard of this deck, which is an admission to the power of red prowess decks and things like shock being very prevalent in the meta and people liking Slickshot Show Off and stuff like that. So Surge of Salvation a pretty big hammer blow against this deck, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, an interesting future ahead. Obviously, we're in Bloomburrow Standard. We're soon to hit Dustmourne Standard. We have seen, yes, a card that has been touted for prowess, but probably is a mistake in the long run if it's played. But we are actually seeing Pyroclasm joining us in the format, which is gonna really shift the needle on how these Convoke decks especially are built, knowing that that's a potential threat in the sideboards.
Yeah, I think that's probably when they made no changes in Standard for the last couple of ban announcements, and a couple of people here and there were talking about them potentially banning Convoke. I think it's an admission that they knew that Voldaren and Epicure was rotating. It's not going to get a replacement, and then we're getting Pyroclasm afterwards as well. So in their future league testing, it's probably not been a problem at all. But Valley Might Caller into Valley Might Caller Poor Patch Recruit is a lot of power and toughness for 2 mana.
Yes, that really would change the math on any Pyroclasm attempts. That's a lot of woodland creatures with a lot of buffs.
That's a 3/3, a 2/2, and a 2/1 that butter other creatures when it gets targeted with a removal spell. So Slickshot just being plotted. Okay, fine. You need to kill me.
Yeah, but you don't have 2 turns here, friend. I don't think, especially if this is
is this a hop to it? Oh, it's a poor patch with Offspring. Nearly as good.
Yeah, but basically sets up as good.
Yeah, removal spells just don't work for Daryl now because they put 3 1/1 counters around. These Might Callers are now a 5/5 and a 4/4 respectively. I want to remind the viewers that we're in Jenny's turn 3.
And Daryl will need to do 20 damage with a Cacophony Scamp on a Crackback if he can
and a Slick Shot. Yeah, you got a Slick Shot, a Cacophony Scamp, and a fucking Dream.
Probably giving up the Slick Shot, giving up the Cacophony Scamp, or thinking about it. To be honest, I think you don't. I think you have to play for your outs that you're dead. But maybe if Jenny accidentally doesn't block and you can go, you can just go Monstrous Rage into Shock into Shock.
Yeah, just hope. Thing is, Poor Patch Recruit triggers on abilities as well, so the backup mode of even using this Cacophony Scamp as removal for these X1s isn't even good enough, because it just puts more bomb counters around Daryl with his head in his hands.
Yeah, and the other, I think this is the protection of that particular card, because I fell for this the other day myself. The the Heartfire hero, the power and toughness goes to the opponent, doesn't it? And then that's that's like, you're not even got that backup that you could be picking things off even if it was any good. This is just not going to get there. But
yeah, this is what I was talking about in game 1, where if Valley Might Caller is played, the game looks a lot different. So 2 Slick Shots plus a Shock and a Cacophony Scamp, just not good enough.
That definitely felt like one of those admissions of I'm one. Do you know the classic I'm 1 mana off? Towel kind of just showed the, if I had another turn, I could have killed you. I think Jenny's response is, you weren't getting one. Game 3.
Yeah, those Might Callers were very large and only getting larger as well. So Slick Shot is pretty good in this matchup. It being a flyer means it can get over the top. It's why Jen plays 2 Phineas Ace Archer, which has reach. It's okay with the rest of the Rabbit's cards. It's not as good as you might expect it to be in a Rabbit deck. It's pretty good with hop to it, that sort of thing, but draws you a couple of cards here and there. But the fact that it has both vigilance and reach means that it can trade with a Slick Shot Show Off pretty nicely a lot of the time. It's pretty hard for them to bolster the toughness of the card specifically.
Yeah, but this is going to be the tester for the resilience of the Convoke deck on the draw against the deck that loves to play. Need a very good specific run out here, and that is a great start.
Yeah, Mike Caller is the dream turn one. No chance in hell that we're ever blocking a Heartfire hero. So
Nope.
Slick Shot on plot. So Daryl's doing his thing as well. So we'll see what the follow up is for Jen.
What you like here? Do you just want Mike Caller into Mike Caller, or do you want something like a quest caller, which we play?
Yeah, Quest Caller's pretty nice. It means you get scries off of a hop to it next turn, that sort of thing. The hop to it is then representing twice as much damage, so it's a lot more threatening all of a sudden. From Daryl's side, everything's kind of going to plan at the minute.
Yeah, because hop to it here. Daryl's run out has been creature run out. I think we just had a land flashed, which obviously Jenny won't have info for. Any of these getting bigger is trouble. I suppose like this could be a fringe. If you could, oh no, it's not. It's the Bane Splitter. Yeah, it's Dreadmore's Ire. Yeah, you're right. It's Dreadmore's Ire. So yeah, any block would have been disastrous.
Yeah, so I think Daryl just holding that to try and act like a bit of a removal spell, being on the play means that he's got the initiative in the game. So Seasoned Warren Guard, not bad. Scry 1/1 counter on the Might Caller. We're starting to grease the wheels a little bit. Yep. So follow-up's a Case of the Gateway Express.
Oh, that's a good card.
That's a really nice answer to the Slick Shot. It's shown that Daryl doesn't have a shock or anything like that, because that would have been pointed at the 2/2 Might Caller immediately.
Yeah.
So nothing as well to buff. Nothing as well to buff them up. So pretty obvious that Daryl has something narrow or nothing.
Jenny going in is great recognition of I know I'm open to the attack, but I gotta win faster.
Yeah, you need to give them as few draw steps as possible, right? In this kind of deck where a monstrous rage on the Heartfire hero would be a big problem very quickly. Jen just deciding whether to block here or not. I think looking at it, you probably don't. It means that on the crackback, you get the case flipped, and then Daryl's probably dead the turn afterwards. Yeah,
it's this is gonna be a top deck war here. I think not so much like Jenny has cards in hand, but it's for Daryl. It's can I get my math across the line in 2 turns, or like because Jenny I think will get there. Like cards in hand, 3 mana, the case. Not online this turn, but will be online the turn after. Just needs to be maybe 2 creatures up on Daryl going into the next upkeep.
Yeah, I think if Jen untaps and plays a hop to it, we're done here. Wait and see.
The bated breath, which is not great for any viewing experience, where we're just like, from our angle, we were getting great views of what Rakdos may have held, but we don't get it so much for Jenny's side POV. But this
Oak Hollow Village isn't bad. I feel like this can't be a hop to it. She wouldn't have made us wait this long.
No, don't think so.
Depends. She is quite cruel to me sometimes. Okay, so 2 mana. Could be another case.
No, the Beauregard.
No, a Beauregard Mentor. Okay, so grow the Might Caller. Scry 1. So another 2-drop.
Taking 1.
That's paying a life, so that's another Beauregard Mentor.
Okay.
Oh no, it's a Phineas. Okay.
And now you can just go in.
Which is good. Good insulation to a Slick Shot off the top as well. So I think probably just with the Might Caller here. You could go with the Quest Caller as well, but no, Jenny is much braver than I am. We're going in with the Warren Guard as well to get the case flipped.
I think like that's correct. Yeah,
so the Warren Guard being a 2/3 because of the Quest Caller as well means that it would go over the Monastery Swift Spear. So
Darryl laughing. He knows this is the top deck or not. Daryl's been around too long though.
Cacophony Scamp.
He will attack and he will make Jenny block it or make Jenny stop it. Yes, it's a Cacophony Scamp. It's and Dreadmire's Ire
and the Dreadmore's Ire. So we could put Beauregard Mentor in front of the Emberheart Challenger. We put Phineas in front of the Heartfire Hero. Yep. I think is probably what we want to do here.
Yep.
Or do you want to block the Swift? Okay, yeah, in front of the Heartfire Hero. Dreadmore's Ire probably goes on the... If it goes on the Heartfire Hero, then
it gets...
The Heartfire Hero doesn't die.
Yeah, and actually, ironically, you may want it to die here.
Yeah, I think that puts Jenny to 1. So if you Dreadmore's Ire the Emberheart Challenger, it would go to a 6/6 trample, which would do 1. The Swift Spear would do 2. The Heartfire would do 1. Yeah, needed to hit another pump spell on the top there, I think, off of the Emberheart Challenger. Yeah. Was 1 short on Dreadmore's Iring the Heartfire Hero to get there, I think.
Yeah, a pump spell may have done it, but our math tells us...
Oh, was a couple short, actually. So needed another pump spell off the top on that Emberheart Challenger prop.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, a spot on run out. Obviously the case was what flipped the game, but some of the little micro decisions, like Jen like attacking rather than holding back a turn earlier, like basically meant Darryl didn't get that extra turn to get it over the line, which he...
Yeah, it's removing the draw steps,
yeah.
Right? Like, you want to take those cards away from your opponent. It's as good as thought seizing them sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Convoking the threat, but the cards are strong. It may take a little bit of a different build for it to remain around. It may just be Selesnya and not necessarily Rabbits. But at the same time, they are some strong cards in that deck with all the synergies blowing out onto each other. If you do need to think about what decks are coming for you in the next standard, though, don't forget you got your bulk, and the best place to keep it, as you can see by Jen's token, is in a bulk box. You can go to bulkbox.co.uk, drop Old Emo Day 10 in the checkout. That will get you 10% off the highest, best quality premium boxes that you can get. They'll ship worldwide. If you're in the UK, though, they'll come to you next day. Add over, Scott. What's the best deck in standard that you would be playing right now if this was you on the screen?
I mean, I'm playing Gruul Prowess with some Innkeeper's talents, but we'll wait and see. I might be pulling some nonsense with Aftermath Analyst after Duskmourn. We'll see. Duskmourn out soon. We'll see you soon. Back on the channel. Have a great one. Good game. That was a great game.